What's up, everybody, and welcome to Lights, Camera, Exploitation, your guide to exploitive cinema. This is the pod boss, TJ Bowser, and joining me as always is my doppelganger, Kangabanger from down under, Mr. Brody Kane.
Howdy, mateys.
And the second man on the grassy knoll, Mr. Slick Nick.
What's up, y'all?
Today, we have a doozy of an episode for you, but first, it's time for your slice of life. Brody, how goes it?
Like I say every week, Mr. Bowser, it all goes extremely well. This week I went and saw Nitram, which is a movie based on a true story down this way. Basically changed our gun laws, and it was one of the most heinous crimes in Australia and Tasmania history. And yeah, it is a really, really fucking great film to watch. Same director as, I don't know if you ever saw it, Snowtown, which was another fucked up.
Those are regional films. I don't think that those get shown up here.
Yeah, no, they're obviously Australian, but yeah, it's I think the production company's Madman Entertainment and all that behind it. So yeah, I mean, Nitram, they had an American playing the lead in this.
Caleb Landry Jones.
That is correct, and his Australian accent is on par. It is fucking the best that I've ever heard come out of an American actor to pull that off. It is so on point. But the fucking overall tone of that film is deeply disturbing to watch. And I can't even believe they went to lengths to showing at least certain parts of the film that I was like, I can't even fucking believe that they're going there. You know, they don't give away too much and show too much out of respect for the families of the deceased, but they push boundaries, and yeah, it's pretty fucking full on. Just to see that actor, at least, the Martin Bryant, the killer himself, just see unfold and what were all these events that led up to him to become this killer. It was fantastic performance.
I'm reading here it only received a theatrical release in Australia.
Fuck, that's a shame, because it won Best Actor at Cannes when it was screened there, and it had a 7-minute standing ovation. So,
shit.
Yeah.
Argento's film got an ovation too. A Vortex movie that he's in where he plays a dude with dementia.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So he actually didn't direct that.
No,
he was just in it.
He was an actor. Somebody cast him. Some dude who was coming out of like rehab and like getting his career back together was like, "Hey, I'm doing this really visceral movie about this couple struggling with dementia, and I want Dario Argento to play the dad, like the husband," and he does. And
He's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's good to see him.
Oh yeah,
showing his acting chops up
on screen instead of behind the camera.
Yeah. No, so yeah, other than that, watch that fantastic film. I highly recommend it to y'all overseas. What else? I've just been still working every couple of days on set with a TV series. It's a bit of an eye-opener. Got to meet the lead actor there the other week. He seems like a fantastic guy. And he's great to watch on set. But other than that, nothing really much else down this way. How about you, Slick Nick?
Not a whole lot this way either. Been a pretty uneventful week. Mostly just working. Haven't really watched much of anything. Did watch a particularly bad horror movie yesterday, ATM. It's got Josh Peck from Drake and Josh, and it's from like 2012. Watched it back whenever it first came out. It was bad then. Still bad now. But particularly fun to watch with friends because it's really, really, really easy to pick it apart. It's one of those ones where every decision is so unbelievably bad that it's literally just watching idiots get themselves killed. That's all it is. But it is really, really fun to watch with friends. Really, that's about all. Gonna be honest, I have not done a ton this week. It's been pretty slow. What about you, TJ? What'd you get up to?
Well, I'm waiting on movies from the Kino Rocktober sale to show up sometime this week. They say Wednesday. But let's see if they stay true to that. Yesterday, I went to the Knotfest Roadshow, saw Slipknot, Killswitch Engage, Fever 333, and Code Orange, the local boys, perform at the Starlight Pavilion, and it was absolutely cool, rad, and all sorts of those things. But watching films, fuck, what did I watch the other day? I normally post in the chat, too. Started watching The Man from Hong Kong today. I have that release from Twilight Time. Absolutely spectacular Exploitation film. And I hope that one time soon we can cover that. But what I do want to cover is this week's film, and that is Kill List from 2011.
They're bad people. They should suffer.
from director Ben Wheatley, who also did Down Terrace in 2009, Sightseers in 2012, A Field in England in 2013, and High Rise in 2015. Writers Ben Wheatley and Amy Jump. Cinematographer Laurie Rose, who also did Down Terrace, Bill in 2015, Overlord in 2018, and Pet Sematary in 2019. Music by Jim Williams, who did The Gift in 1991, Heartless in 2005, The Dark Mile in 2017, and Possessor in 2020. Special effects supervisor Ben Ashmore, who worked on Harrigan in 2013, A Brilliant Young Mind in 2014, Journeyman in 2017, and Running Naked in 2020. Producers Claire Jones and Andy Stark. Costume designer Lance Milligan, who worked on The Booze Cruise 2, The Treasure Hunt in 2005, a TV movie, Tyrannosaur in 2011, Gloves Off in 2017, and The Banishing in 2020. Budget, 500,000 GBP. Is that British pounds?
Yep.
I would assume so, yes.
Oakley dokley.
Sterling.
And this film starred Neil Maskell as Jay, who was also in Titanic Town in 1998, Doghouse in 2009, and The Mummy in 2017. Harry Simpson as Sam, did nothing else. Mariana Burning as Shell, who was in The Descent in 2005, The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1 in 2011, Killers Anonymous in 2019. Michael Smiley as Gal, who was in Shaun of the Dead in 2004, uncredited, Outpost in 2008, A Field in England in 2013, and The Lobster in 2015. Emma Fryer,
cameo in Shaun of the Dead.
Emma Fryer as Fiona, who starred in I Want Candy in 2007, Home Time in 2009, a TV series, in Critical in 2015, a TV series. Strawn Rogers as the Client, who starred in Young Adam in 2003, Stardust in 2007, and The Marker in 2017. Ben Crompton as Justin, who was in 102 Dalmatians in 2000, Game of Thrones from 2012 to 2019. I hope you know what that is. And Rebecca in 2020. Brody, take it away.
8 months after a disastrous job in Kiev left him physically and mentally scarred, ex-soldier turned contract killer Jay is pressured by his partner Gal into taking a new assignment. As they descend into the dark, disturbing world of the contract, Jay begins to unravel once again his fear and paranoia, sending him deep into the heart of darkness.
How was that? Was that a good one?
It was decent. I like it. It's short and sweet.
Award! These include, but are not limited to, the British Independent Film Awards in 2011, Best Supporting Actor, Michael Smiley, Winner Chicken Dinner, Best Director, Ben Wheatley, nominee. Pushan International Fantastic Film Awards 2011, Best Actress, Mariana Buring, Winner Chicken Dinner. The Empire Awards, United Kingdom 2012, Empire Award, Best Horror, Winner Chicken Dinner. And lastly, Fangoria Chainsaw Awards in 2013, Best Limited Release / Direct-to-Video Film, nominee. Best Actor, Neil Maskell, nominee. Best Supporting Actor, Michael Smiley, nominee. Boys, I love to hear it. Let's get physical. This week's release is from MPI Media Group that was released August 14th, 2012, and it runs 96 minutes, and it's rated R. And it features audio commentaries. The disc includes 2 tracks. The first with director Ben Wheatley and co-writer Amy Jump, who get into nitty-gritty of production but remain elusive when it comes to explaining the film in a loose, more casual track with actors Neil Maskell, Mariana Buring, and Michael Smiley. Interviews include sit-down chats with directors Ben Wheatley, producers Claire Jones and Andrew Stark, and actors Mariana Buring and Neil Maskell. Those are in standard definition. Making of, an assortment of camera tests and behind-the-scenes footage that is in HD, a featurette, a short promo made up of some of the above interviews, a trailer, and it is a 2K Blu-ray disc that is Region A locked and currently available on Amazon for $17.99. Boys?
In an interview with Film 4 Special in 2013, you can also watch this on YouTube, might I just add, Ben Wheatley discusses making a horror film. Well, I was going to make a horror film. I was going to make something horrible and scary. So that's all we thought about when we made it. And every thought was towards making it, just making that feeling in the audience. There was no consideration of thought about making something too nasty or to upset people too much. I didn't ever think about that. And as far as I was concerned, I watched it. I understood the film, didn't have any problems with it. I didn't sit there confused with it at all. So we then showed a screening of it to the first financiers, and they were really upset and scared.
See why? So, when discussing the genre of Kill List in an interview with IndieWire, Ben Wheatley describes his thoughts on Kill List as, I think it's a horror film. As things went on, I wasn't sure whether I had made the mistake of understanding the difference between horror and horrible, and I think that it's definitely a horrible film, but it was definitely a film that I was trying to make that would be scary. I think my understanding of what a scary film is was broader than the straight-up genre definitions of what a horror film might be. I stretched it out to include things like Elam Klimov's Come and See, which you should watch if you ever get the chance, only once because it will emotionally destroy you. That's a Soviet-era horror movie about the German occupation of Belarus. Or some of the Ken Loach movies. So I think it's psychological horror, and those kinds of things are not necessarily within the realms of the supernatural, but they'll get into the audience's head and play with these kinds of feelings, clarifying his statement of the film being horrible. He said, no, I don't mean it's horrible in the sarcastic sense. It's things that are horrible. I guess that you could see that in a lot of war films. They're full of horrors and showing things that people don't want to see. They're not necessarily the same as your straight up vampire or zombie film. That's the difference.
So we have Ben Wheatley discussing the film itself. He quotes by saying, the thing with Kill List is that you could see it as 3 films glued together. But for me, it's also a symmetrical film, which basically is a film folded in the middle and has 2 sets of rhythm working within it. So all the clues and information are there in the film, but if you don't pick it up upon viewing, well then it's not my fucking problem.
So Wheatley goes on to describe the structure of scripting the film around its performers, as the film was written with Maskell and Smiley in mind as the 2 leads specifically. He never considered any other actors for the roles. In specific reference to the dinner party near the beginning of the film, Wheatley says, the script is written specifically for the performers. It's not like a cast film where you write the script and then look around for the roles. They're all written for those actors. So that kind of gives you a head start when you hit the ground on the first day. They're going to be able to do the things that you want because you've seen them do it before, and the script kind of loosely plays to their strengths as performers and also as people. Not to say that Neil Maskell is a psychotic maniac, but he can go from being in a normal conversation to being quite aggressive quite quickly. Michael Smiley is the same. On the surface, he's a warm, generous person, but also there's a tough side to him. I think that helps to get this kind of performance, but it also is written in this jagged way where you get the ups and downs of the emotions in the scene on top of each other.
I'd like to be on top of you.
So Wheatley gives his views of crafting stories. So once you start thinking outside of yourself and you think of yourself as the third person, you're kind of screwed. So I basically put it all out of my head. You can only make the movies I think for yourself. So once you start thinking about an audience, then again, you're in trouble. So each of the films, there has been 90 degrees to the last film. Also, cinema is fascinating and broad because it's like, why would you do the same thing over and over again if you had the opportunity not to?
Fair statement. So Wheatley has described the film as a partially cathartic experience. A sizable amount of content from the story is actually based on experiences and dreams that Wheatley had as a child. Namely, the end of the film with the cult's ritual actually stems from nightmares that he would have about the woods near his home. And the fight and tablecloth pull from the dinner party scene near the beginning actually stems from episodes that would apparently happen at the dinner table from his childhood. I guess his dad was a mad man.
Over at the Film School Archive in 2015, which you can also see on YouTube, Ben talks about the structure of Kill List. I wanted a tale that would twist and turn and keep people on their toes, really to which they couldn't really take anything for granted. So basically, they would have to think about what they were watching and just let it wash over them. So people find it irritating that they are asked to think. However, I think thinking is quite a good thing and should be encouraged.
So this one's just a little bit of trivia, though, but I found it pretty interesting. Just kind of goes to show the actors and why they were picked. So Shell's entire phone call that she has with her family near the beginning of the movie, I believe she's supposed to be basically yelling to her to her family or her mother or something like that. But the entire phone call at the beginning was actually completely improvised. She did the entire thing in Swedish. Ben Wheatley had absolutely no idea what she was saying at all.
Dude,
until
I was
later
like,
on.
do we have subtitles for this?
Because we have no idea what she's saying, unless you speak Swedish, I suppose. But yeah, no, the director had absolutely no idea either. He was just like, yell in Swedish and sound mad on the phone. And she went, okay, I'll say some shit, I guess. But yeah, he was never made aware of anything at all that she said until way after the scene was filmed. Actor Neil Maskell also had no clue what she was saying either until the scene was over. So whenever he's standing there just looking mad at her or whatever, he actually has absolutely no idea what she's saying.
It's like, what's her nuts reacting to the Billy's phone call without knowing what's said.
Because they recorded
Margot Kidder. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah.
That's it.
It's all full circle, boys.
I love it.
Brody, where we at?
So we have Wheatley talking about the violence and dark humour in Kill List. It's not always followed by that. I mean, the hammer scene is quite a long way off before there is something at least amusing, but I think there's a pressure thing on it that releases some of the tension on it from the audience, because you need to go up, down and back up again. Once you hit that peak, you can't maintain it for the rest of the movie, because then you're in this situation where you have to do more and more horrible things that are even more horrible than the thing you've just seen, or otherwise people aren't upset by it anymore. The humour in it is a coping mechanism for the characters as much as anything, so they are going through it the same way that some of the audience would gasp or laugh.
So Wheatley kind of clarifies the amount of content from the film that was drawn from personal experience versus what was created specifically for the script, as well as his own drawn connections and inspiration for the story. There's a lot of bits from the movie that are from dreams, like I said earlier, and it's a kind of thinking of it. It's a primal reoccurring nightmare like that. It would affect other people as well. The main thing that's influenced is by the Wicker Man is probably the ending. That kind of idea that you're in a trap that you don't know that you're in. But equally, I'm a big fan of Parallax View as well. So it could come from that. The other stuff, they wear masks, but there are no masks in the Wicker Man. I've spent quite a lot of Q&A time talking about that in a fucking Serbian film, and I'm so sorry to him for having to talk about that dumb fucking movie. He didn't direct it. What did people fucking ask him about it? I hate that movie so much.
I think if anyone's going to talk about a Serbian film, I think Chad Daddy should fucking discuss it. I think that's his favourite film, isn't it, TJ?
Yes, it is. That is confirmed.
So we have Wheatley talking about the so-called shock imagery. I wanted it for the viewers to have a psychological reaction to it and feel fear. I just think that it's a kind of dangerous game to show violence in a manner that isn't realistic, that you might get away with it in that context anyway. I never wanted to glamorize those characters. I just wanted to show this kind of game going where you like the characters but then are presented with what they do. It just pokes at this idea that hitmen are like folk heroes, like it's acceptable to what they do, like Robin Hood, but they aren't. They get money for murdering people.
So, in an interview with IndieWire in 2012, I think it's the same one I read, Wheatley talks about that ending and why the film is so personal. My heart goes out to the critics on this one because it's hard to talk about it with revealing a lot of things. Oh, it is the same article that I read. He was talking about not having the ending spoiled in the reviews that he read. I think when they go to screenings, the thing that they enjoy about it is that they have no expectation of what it's going to be. Then how do you actually write about that back to an audience without spoiling or even suggesting that there's a twist at the ending? Because that can usually ruin movies. I'm making a film at the moment where I know I can take clips and put them online and it won't spoil the film. But with Kill List, that's not the case. It'll just knacker it. I've been thinking about this a lot. It depends on what kind of viewer you are. If there's a film that I want to see, I don't want to watch anything about it or read anything about it until I go and see it. Then after, I'll read a lot. It depends on your practices as a viewer, and if you consume all information about films at all times, then I suspect that all films will be ruined for you. But yeah, it's a difficult one to write about, and I do not envy them that.
And last but not least, in an interview with Wheatley at the Movable Fast of 2012, he's asked about showing cuts of the finished film. Yeah, Rob and I watched it in the 2-hour version of it, and we were like, fucking hell. And we went out and had to get drunk straight away, pretty much. So like, wow, that's strong. Then when we had the financial screenings just at the end of it, they were like, God, what was that? I remember the first time we showed it with the hammer, alluding to one of the film's more infamous sequences, because we never showed it without the effects in it. We had a strategy where we would only show it after the effects were complete. So they never got that distance of going, well, it'll be different when it's fixed.
Well, boys, let's talk about it! Okay, what was your favorite performance of the film? Slick Nick, take it away.
I am going to have to go with Michael Smiley as Gal. Neil Maskell did an absolutely fantastic job as Jay. I really do think that he portrayed that very well. I just like that Michael Smiley was so good in this movie as going to just being his lovable goofball friend to just stone cold killer in an instant at the same time. I think Jay is a good character. I just think Gal's a little bit more interesting, especially considering just like everything with Fiona and all of that near the beginning, where he has absolutely no idea that she's a member of the cult, and just all of that. But yeah, he
Spoiler
really
alert.
helps the movie. I mean, we're reviewing the thing. I don't know. He really helps the movie almost come across in the beginning as like damn near buddy cop, but buddy hitman film, until everything goes tits up and the movie just turns crazy as shit. Part of the reason why I love this damn movie so much. But yeah, TJ, what's yours? What's your favorite?
Okay, you made me watch this movie.
Don't sound so happy about it.
Okay, you made me watch this movie, and it wasn't actually that bad. So performance, before I talk about anything else. Okay, so the main homie, I like him.
Jay?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Definitely fucking brutal, and he goes off his fucking head like so many fucking times, and it's totally believable. I think those scenes where he totally loses control, I think that everybody's lost control at some point in their life. He takes it to that next level. I mean, yeah.
Yes, he
I
does.
mean, we're dealing with fucking rock spiders here. Of course you got to fucking...
Yeah, see, with that, it kind of is like, okay, yeah, and he has like a kid and stuff. Yeah.
I was gonna say, when he has his own child and he watches the librarian's like videos in the lockup, and then he's sitting there like after Michael Smiley just watched it too, and he's like, oh fuck, and he turns it off. He's like, no mate, you don't want to watch that. And then he goes, watches it, and then absolutely flips his fucking shit. It makes it that much more believable.
Yeah.
But it's his reaction to that video that really makes it even more believable. Like
he starts
nearly
crying.
in tears. Yeah. He's like, holy fuck! Like, what is this shit?
And then vigilante justice.
Then he absolutely fucking destroys like 3 dudes.
Yeah. No, it's a bit of a... I like their personalities, though, between the two, because it's a bit of a yin and yang type. Like, I mean, you got one that's really level-headed, and then this one's just like fucking head demons.
And totally believable.
They take over. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And once those head demons take over, you know he's a man on a mission. And I fucking love that about our lead, Jay.
Now,
I had him as well.
Before we continue, this is a Britsploitation film?
Yeah, pretty much as much as I consider it.
And it is...
Yeah. That and Cultsploitation, I would say.
Yeah.
That comparison to Wicker Man that Wheatley said was part of...
Well, it is technically our first folk horror film.
Yes. I compare this movie in my head to, say... I know you're not a massive fan of Ari Aster, but I do think of it in terms of like Midsommar or Hereditary as well.
But anyway, on to better films.
We can agree to disagree.
I will agree with Mr. Bowser on favourite performance. I think Jay is outstanding in this. Just the way he's able to turn his anger and off. It's like a light switch. in a heartbeat. And like TJ said, it's a believable performance. I think that's what really drives it home.
There's never a moment where you're like, fuck, but not for a bad reason. Like
There's a few moments where you're like, fuck.
There's never a moment where you're like, okay, that's not for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no moment where you doubt his performance. There's like no moment of that because he's just so fucking spot on with everything.
He definitely acts in character correctly. I mean, the entire movie.
The movie's not batshit crazy the entire time, but it's the interactions with the other characters, with the dialogue. I mean, that can be attributed to the writing as well, but a lot of that can be attributed to performance. And I think that just the way that those characters interact really drives home to the realism of those also the way it's shot, we'd have to say, lends a hand to that too, because it's a very tight film and the way that's very personal at times, and it really makes you feel for some of these characters in certain scenes. Especially some of the more violent scenes are even filmed tighter.
Yeah, they are. The lockup, I think, in particular, or not the lockup. Sorry.
That could also
the librarian
had to do with the $500,000 budget they had, or pound budget.
That is fair. It's not a lot of money. I think that's probably somewhere along the lines of like maybe 800.
The less you have to have on frame, the less you have to spend on production design. Plain and simple. So yeah. Okay. I think that's fucking A. Set piece, boys.
I'm going to say the member of Parliament's house at the end with the ritual.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go with the bonfire and all that. Yeah. It flips so hard.
The tunnels.
We're used to. The tunnels are scary, man.
The tunnels are like the scariest part of the fucking movie to me.
The first time I watched it, I did not think that by the end of this Hitman movie, I would actually be
if you read the article I sent you guys in the chat, it actually references that tunnel sequence was inspired from a film from the 40s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What film is that?
Nick's looking it up.
I'm looking at it.
There's the whole thing because the whole article goes in to talk about how this film's connected to a field in England, and then his newest film, and how they kind of go from crime film to folk horror. And once he starts to go to folk horror, he just goes balls out, kind of. So they kind of talk about that.
Well, I mean, they've all got that subgenre of folk horror in them.
Oh, I know this movie, The Third Man with Orson Welles. That's a good fucking movie. Yeah, that's a classic.
That black and white film?
Yeah, at the end, whenever Orson Welles is escaping through the sewer tunnels is what he compared it to. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to watch that at film school.
That movie's fucking good. It's definitely better than like Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane gets hailed as like the best movie of all time. If you try watching that now, not gonna lie, man, that's kind of fucking boring.
Shit, watch Suspiria anyway.
I was about to say it's. I guess I understand the cinematography aspect of it, but like Citizen Kane's fucking boring, man. Just is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but set piece. Definitely the tunnels for me. I do like the whole like cult shit, sacrifice shit at the end, the way that's all set up and everything. But mostly set piece. I like that whole tunnel thing.
Put me on edge.
I'm a bit in the middle between you two. Like, I did love the homestead and the tunnel. So I mean, honourable mention to fucking either. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. But yeah, obviously they're probably going to be the most standouts. I'm not going to sit here and pick the fucking kitty fiddler fucking little shipping container as like the best.
The lockup or whatever. Yeah.
Fuck that.
You're like, I'd pick the kitty diddler lockup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite scene or shot, boys?
Ooh, right. There was a couple in this film, but the one that stood out for me the most was that one long tracking shot of Gal looking for Jay after his 20 minutes of waiting. We see as the camera follows Jay through the fucking Gal.
That's Gal.
Fuck, I fucked that up. Sorry. As we follow Gal, this one shot, and it just shows the carnage that fucking Jay has left on his path. And we finish off with a pretty damn graphic scene of Jay killing a fucking rock spider by slamming his face into the fucking wall numerous times and then shooting him numerous times with a fucking gun. It's fantastic. I love it.
I just want his line too. What? It's been 20 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing I love so much about Jay, his quick-witty dialogue. The banter between the two, it's actually really funny to listen to, but it's super dark at the same time.
I'm going to kill him, Gal. Don't kill him, mate. I'm going to massacre that table of people now in a hotel. And I ain't going to shoot them, Gal. I'm going to do them one at a time, or I'm doing them slow.
Butter knife?
Yeah.
Even at the beginning, Whenever he gets into the fight with Shell at the dinner party, and then he stands up, flips the
Abracadabra.
yeah, abracadabra!
In front of my friends, in front of my fucking
My
face.
fucking pal! It's my fucking pal out there. It's just, you get the glimpses. You see the darkness.
Oh, those lyrics from a song?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Well,
it should
maybe.
be.
I don't know.
Sing it for us, Nick.
They could be.
You see the dark.
I think isn't there there's like a weird pause, right? Like in that shot, that's like a weird pause. It kind of like sinks it in.
Whenever Gal comes in to find him beating that dude, or
No, near the end. I don't know whether
the ritual.
Yeah, there's like a weird fucking pause. Is it after?
In which scene?
Is it after he kills his fucking family?
Yeah, like where he's just standing there
we're
looking
standing
at
over
his...
him.
And then there's like a fucking weird pause.
Yeah, there is. There was
You
a
are
really
right.
weird edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Like it freeze frames on him.
It's oddly effective because it's like such a massive shock to him.
It's like a glitch.
Yeah.
I think you see his brain break, basically.
Yep.
Well, it's supposed to be. Maybe. I don't know.
I think that was the most effective shot, but like seeing like smashing anyone's with a fucking hammer is pretty brutal. And I just found that to be just so intense.
I have tried recommending this movie to people, and every time I'm like, so I do have to give a caveat. There's a certain scene with a hammer.
Yeah, like Cannibal Corpse wrote a song about this particular scene just way before it ever happened.
Seriously. It's fucking rough, bud. A little bit.
Brody?
It's beautiful to watch. I had that as my next question. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it was my answer to the next question as well, to be honest.
Okay, hey, we all agree. Fucking A, boys. Favorite effect or death? This is a good one.
Yeah, the whole the librarian scene.
Fucking hammer, yeah.
Fuck.
The cigarettes? The multiple cigarette burns?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just love.
I also have to say that just the way that they take the shotgun blasts in the hallway, like in the tunnels, not the hallway, but then the tunnels.
Oh yeah.
The repeated fucking waves of cult members.
Blasting them.
It's just so fucking cool. Effects wise, just awesome. Just jerking people back in fucking Squib City. Like,
No, the darkness makes it so much better too, because
Yeah.
it's so fucking dark down there, and every time they just
and
pop one
the
off.
exquisite editing on that fucking scene that makes it tense as all hell.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Gal.
Death at the end has to be the Hunchback, homie.
But,
Oh, really?
well, yeah, I had that as...
Even though I called it for whatever fucking reason, the moment I saw the Hunchback, I knew exactly what was going on. For don't know why.
Well, you can see Shell's clothes.
Oh, okay.
Under the shawl that she has on. I didn't notice it the first time that I watched it, but watching it for the episode, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, you can fucking tell it is Shell.
Well, the
So you
moment the
absolutely
cult
see
members
her
showed
clothes.
up, I was like, what happens to the family? They're going to get them and make it do a sacrifice in front of them. That's immediately where my brain went. So it was locked onto that the entire time. So whenever they showed up, I was like, oh, okay, there they are. Like, not even thinking twice about it. So I don't know why it just rocked up like that in my head, but
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
it didn't lessen the blow of the ending, though. I love the way that they didn't show the sun. They just kind of showed his arm flopping out, and he just fucking...
You see his face?
Yeah.
You know,
you see his face?
Yeah, you see his
you
face.
do,
He
yeah.
pulls the blanket to the side.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But what about the 5-second fucking framing on that shot where he stabs it in the back and you just hear the screams and it's... oh, fuck.
Oh, it's so rough, man.
You hear these little... and you're like, oh, no.
Oh, he's stabbing his like fucking 8-year-old kid, and you just know at that point, dude, it's so rough.
And the librarian getting kneecapped numerous times, tortured.
Absolutely.
And then that fucking hammer to the head, and you see...
What about the dude getting his
out
face smashed
brain.
repeatedly off a fucking wall until his face is completely gone?
That was my honorable mention.
He's like, what are you going to do about that? And he's like, bang, bang, bang.
3 times in the
That's why
fucking head.
I had that as my favourite scene in shot. That's probably the reason why. Just that lead up to that, just intense. But fuck me, a conversation as well between the librarian and fucking Jay as well. It's interesting to watch because he's like, does he know who you are? And you're like, what?
Fuck are
He's
you
like,
talking about? Yeah.
Thank you, and all this shit. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
I understand. You have to do what you have to do. Eh?
Also,
Hinted at it with the priest too.
Yeah.
Whenever he's like, turn around, he goes, "Thank you."
I love how they come out of that. Is what is it, a closet or a doorway? Like he fucking shoots him, and then he like walks out. And the dude like fucking walks behind him. He's like fucking like peering over his shoulder the whole time or some shit.
Cal just
I'm going to let you do the dirty work.
Yeah.
I love that they must have walked into that room and went, all right, what do we do? We'll get in the fucking closet, mate. Just all buddied up in there.
I will just say when Gel, isn't it? Yeah, he's upstairs going through the librarian's safe. He pulls out a folder. If you freeze frame it for a split second, you see the logo of the cult on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Thingy.
But he sort of makes up for it with their little conversation downstairs. But at the same time, that just,
it's when you realize
it's all there if you pay attention, like
it's the same shit that Fiona carves into the back of the mirror and everything near the beginning. It's kind of like, oh, shit's getting real now.
Yeah, first time we're together, we're gonna make you get a Kill List logo tattoo right on your lower back, tramp stamp.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
John taped to your cock.
Yeah, the Dear John taped to your cock.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Well, that's a perfect segue to thoughts on story. Brody?
I mean, it's an interesting take on the hitman genre. You got a little bit of sprinkled with that cult subgenre overall throughout the tone of the film. It works well, but it's something different. It actually feels really fresh to watch, and it's a well thought out script. But yeah, I honestly really like this film. I think it fills my needs. It's got that action horror. I don't know. I'm a sucker for cult films. I really like cult films, maybe because cults fucking intimidate me.
I will have to say, the color bothering you guys?
Not really.
This was technically during the darkening, so...
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the UK is always
yeah.
overcast and
fucking
shitty weather, so it's kind of fitting. Sorry to the UK mateys over.
Oh, they know.
It's fucking fat.
I just feel like all of their films have that intense overcast look to them, and it just makes it really dreary. So yeah, it affects it, but I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was saying,
For
comes
example,
layer cake?
Snatch.
Oh yeah. Or the UK version of Shameless looks like that every episode.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So I kept thinking like something fell off the entire time with the color, and I guess it might have just been the overcast lighting when we were outside.
Just the UK's shitty weather.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but I just had to mention that. It was on my head. I wanted to make sure I get that out there.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought it up because I'd finished what my fucking thoughts on the story was. Slick Nick, what do you think, buddy?
Okay. So not gonna lie, I fucking love this movie. Honestly, I can't think of any other movie that scratches the particular itch that this movie does. To be entirely honest, I can't really think of a movie that feels like this one. I love the juxtaposition of it starts off, it's a movie about hitmen, at least if you're going into it, if you've seen anything about it beforehand. But it like I said, it plays off almost like not a buddy cop movie, but a buddy hitman movie, until you just start to realize how dark it's getting, just kind of slowly overall, until you get full on what I believe to be a cultsploitation movie by the end, when it just goes absolutely balls to the wall, story goes tits up, and everything just goes crazy. I love the ramp up and just the build, and the tension just continues to build throughout the movie until it just explodes at the end, and it just reaches its full fever pitch. I love the story. What about you, TJ? How'd you feel?
It's interesting. Never seen a film with this type of story path before, but I definitely, once Brody mentioned the whole, if you folded the film in half, kind of mirrors itself. It's definitely an interesting way to look at it, and definitely can see that now. For some reason, I definitely understood the film going through. Like I said, I kind of called the ending as I was watching it, but that's probably because I kind of did all the notes and stuff prior, so I kind of had a firm understanding of what the film was about and stuff. Didn't ruin the ending for me. I stopped and didn't read anything about the ending before, so that was good. But absolutely unique and interesting film. Definitely would give it a watch again. If I could change the overcast lighting on the outside shots, totally would, but you can't fix the UK.
Like, try not filming in freaking Brighton.
But it's definitely an interesting little folk horror film, and I hope that we're able to do a field in England at some point and see more of old Ben Wheatley's work.
Good movie. It is a good movie.
Now, clearly, it's impacted his work because it's allowed him to go deeper into the folk horror stuff. Clearly, with A Field in England and his most recent film, whatever the fuck that's called, Into the Earth or something.
It's just
That's probably
take a
not
look.
right. That's probably not right.
Can I just ask how you say his
In
last
the
name?
Earth.
In the Earth. Ben.
Can I just ask how you
Oh,
say his...
it's Ben Wheatley.
He's
Because I was... It's like, Wheatley, whiskey, Wheatley.
Wheatley. Guys, he's directing the sequel to the Meg.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, the
know
Trench.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meg to the Trench.
Yeah. I'm excited
Oh
for it.
yes. Oh, that's beautiful.
Fuck yeah, folk horror in the sea.
I swear to God, if a fucking cult shows up and stabs the goddamn shark to death.
They
No.
get on a boat.
That's the real origin of the fucking Meg, is a fucking like sea cult willed it into existence from
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
A
Like,
cult get on a boat, drive out to the ocean, perform rituals.
and then
And
will
that's
these
what this
megalodons into existence from the bottom of this trench.
I just want
There
to
we go.
scene in the fucking cult in the boat like
And
start
plot
a
twist,
bonfire
it
on the
turns
ocean.
out that Jay is the cult leader after the events of this film. So he's out there.
Wait, you guys hear that? Oh, it's my phone. Oh, hello, Hollywood? Yes, that is a great idea.
Have I got a story for you?
Heard here first.
Takeaways, boys? What would you take away from this film?
My one takeaway is just how relatable this film is in society.
Mhm.
You know, I think that's what makes this film works so fucking well, is the realism and the themes of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like if I had to really try and nail it down, it'd be like the cult scenario. I mean, that's a scary fucking thing. And the fact that like they're out there and we don't really know what the fuck is going on. This story could actually be could be based on a true story. That's what,
Be fucking real.
intimidating. Yeah,
Absolutely.
My
Insane.
big takeaway is what the fuck did he mean by it was so she was so crazy in bed I had to shave my pubic hair.
The mac and cheese grated his cock.
So it was the gaffer tape. Tape the Dear John to him.
Actually, that's a very good question. Let's talk about that.
Watching
No,
it
I'm
again,
serious.
I
I always
got that
wondered
scene. I
what
was
the
like,
fuck. Yeah, I always wondered what the fuck he meant by that.
had to shave my pubes. Wax? I don't know. I genuinely
Yeah,
don't.
she probably put candle like wax all over his body, like that scene out of Wolf of Wall Street.
There we
Oh,
go. Minus the Quaaludes.
God, if this movie had Quaaludes.
So, boys, let's rate this dead, beaten, bloody pedophiles out of 5. Slick Nick, it's your pick. Send it.
It is a 4.2 for me. Like I said, I love this movie. I'm biased. I'll admit.
Brody?
Yeah, I will give it a 3.7.
I will give it a 3. And that is an LCE score of 3.6 out of 5 for Ben Wheatley's Kill List from 2011.
One of these days, I'll get a 4 out of you, TJ. One of these days.
Wheatley.
Wheatley.
What's the next episode? Brody?
Whoa. I reckon that's my pick, isn't it?
Next
One
episode's
certain-
really special.
Masked Avenger.
Yes. And I actually had the privilege to talk to this director over Facebook. He's a Melburnian. He's down this way. And it is titled The Masturbating Gunman. So stay tuned because that's going to be a very very fun fucking episode.
We all bought the Severin release for this episode. We're all excited to just talk about everything that is the masturbating gunman. The masturbating gunman.
That fucking trailer, dude. Oh my god, I can't wait to watch this fucking movie.
Good question, Nick. Have you actually? I know you've got the release of it. Have you watched it yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, you
No, I
are
always
in for a
I save
fucking
it
treat.
for a couple days before the episode, so it's fresh in my head.
Oh,
This will live rent free in your head for the rest of your life. You don't need to worry about that.
Fine with that. At least I have a copy of it.
I
can
will
watch it
just
as much as I
say
want.
this. I actually asked the director, Mark Savage, if he was ever going to make a sequel to it. and he was like, there actually has been talks about making a sequel. So fingers crossed. Boys.
And the cool thing is that most of the stuff that you hear from next week will either be directly from Mark himself or from the Severin release that just got dropped. So if you don't have the Severin release yet, it should definitely persuade you to purchase that. I don't think it's a Severin release. Technically, it's an Intervision. It's on there like that weird sub-label that they have. But nonetheless, you can still find it on SeverinFilms.com. Go support physical media because, baby, physical media lives! This is the Pod Boss, TJ Bowser. Thank you for joining us on another episode of your favorite podcast, Lights, Camera, Exploitation. Bye-bye!
This is your doppelganger Kangan Bang all the way from down under saying, I will catch you next week, you motherfuckers.
Slick Nick, finally not sick, saying thank you for listening. Love you all. Mwah.